Hey guys, what's up? My name is Milan Sharma, and I have an article for you. Very interesting article on The Intercept, and it says, and there's a very interesting news here. Leaked catalog reveals a vast array of military spy gear offered to U.S. police. This is written by Sam Biddle on September 1st, 4:31 p.m. So, first of all, just to tell you that, actually, I'll get into it later. A confidential 120-page catalog of spy equipment originating from British defense firm Cobham and circulated to U.S. law enforcement touts gear that can intercept wireless calls and text messages, locate people via mobile phone, and jam cellular communications in a particular area. Now, to the point I was going to make earlier, there was actually a report showing the New York Police Department. I don't know if it's in this article, but the New York Police Department actually was using illegal, without a search warrant. They were looking at other people's cell phones to try to catch the person who was the murderer, looking at everyone else's cell phone without a search warrant, which is obviously against the Constitution and against privacy laws. The catalog was obtained by The Intercept as part of a large trove of documents originating within the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, where spokesperson Molly Best confirmed Cobham wares have been purchased but did not provide further information. The document provides a rare look at the wide range of electronic surveillance tactics used by police and militaries in the U.S. and abroad, offering equipment ranging from black boxes that can monitor an entire town's cellular signals to microphones hidden in lighters microphones, and cameras hidden in trash cans. Markings dated to 2014. So this has been going on for several years now. Cobham recently cited among several major British firms exporting surveillance technology to oppressive regimes, has counted police in the United States among its clients. So, do we really want to be called a oppressive regime? Man. So they're exporting these surveillance to oppressive regimes. Why are we taking the bait? Why are we taking these equipment? Cobham spokesperson Greg Karras confirmed the company spun off its, quote, tactical communications and surveillance business into, quote, Domo Tactical Communications earlier this year, selling its entity to another company and presumably shifting many of those clients into it. Karras declined to comment further on the catalog obtained by The Intercept or confirm its authenticity, but said it looked authentic to him. By design, these devices are indiscriminate and operate across a wide area where many people may be present, said Richard Tannen, a technologist and Privacy International, of the gear and the Cobham catalog. Such indiscriminate surveillance systems that are not targeted in any way based on prior suspicion are, quote, the essence of mass surveillance. So they may have these in like big events such as malls or outside gatherings, concerts maybe, who knows. The national controversy over military-grade spy gear trickling down to local police has largely focused on Stingray, and that's what they used in the NYPD used, Stingray, a single type of cellular spy box manufactured by a single company, Harris Corp. But the menu of options available to domestic law enforcement is enormous and poorly understood, mostly because of efforts by both manufacturers and their police clientele to suppress information about their functionality and use. What little we know about Stingrays has often been the result of hard-fought FOIA lawsuits or courtroom disclosures by the government. When the Wall Street Journal began to began reporting on the use of Stingray in 2011, the FBI declined to comment on the grounds that even discussing the devices in existence could jeopardize its usefulness. The effort to pry out details about the tool is ongoing. Just this past April, the American Civil Liberties Union and Electronic Frontier Foundation prevailed in a federal court case, getting the government to admit it used Stingray in Wisconsin. So the government that's supposed to be protecting us, that says, quote, our national security, Republicans say our national security. Republicans are supposed to be standing up for the Constitution. You always say they're for the Constitution. But George W. Bush was the president that implemented the Patriot Act, which enabled mass spying to be going on in the United States. And yes, that's not the same thing as Stingray, but it's a similar concept because Stingray is a mass surveillance system. That's basically what Patriot Act was. Unsurprisingly, the Coham catalog describes itself as proprietary and confidential and demands that it, quote, must be returned upon request. Information about Coham's own suite of Stingray style boxes is almost non-existent on the web, but starting far down on page 105 of the catalog is a section entitled Cellular Service or Surveillance, wherein the UK-based manufacturer of defense and intelligence-oriented hardware lays out all the small wonders it sells for spying on people's private conversations, whether they're in Baghdad or Baltimore. So this just proves, these three words right here prove that this is a massive program. It's massive. It's spying on people's private conversations. It has nothing to do with crimes whatsoever. But this is the concept of putting security over privacy. And what does that mean? That means trying to find the criminal by invading our privacy. That's basically what's going on here. So that's the section right here. You can analyze it if you'd like. In the link below, I have the article. The above page immediately stood out to ACLU attorney Nathan Wessler, who has made Stingray-like devices a major focus of his work for the Civil Liberties Group. Wessler said, quote, the note at the top of this page about the ability to intercept calls. Excuse me. Sorry, that's my phone here. Sorry about that, guys. That's my mom's phone. Anyway, some dumb 1-800 number. Okay, so back where I was talking about. So Wessler said, quote, the note at the top of the page about the ability to intercept calls and text messages, in addition to the ability to geolocate phones, is of particular interest because, quote, domestic law enforcement agencies generally say they don't use that capability. Also remarkable is Wessler is the claim that cell phone users can be tracked to less than 1 meter of accuracy. So you can't say that it just shows us the potential area where they're in. No, this tracks almost precisely accuracy of where the person is. Tynan said Coham's cellular services surveillance devices are like the Stingray standard, quote, IMSI catchers, deeply controversial equipment that can be used to create fake cellular networks and swallow up international mobile subscriber identity, fingerprints, calls, and texts. But he noted that such devices can operate on a vast scale. The Coham devices in this catalog are standard interception devices with the ability to masquerade as 1 to 4 base stations simultaneously. Where am I? Sorry about that. Oh, yeah. Base stations simultaneously. This would allow it to pretend to be 4 different operators or 4 base stations from the same operator or any combination. These specifications allow for the interception of up to 4 calls at a time. The operational distance of those devices would be around 1 to 2 kilometers for 3G and significantly greater for 2G devices. Devices of this type can typically acquire the unique identifiers of handsets at a rate of 200 per minute. So you can identify people of 200 people per minute. That's unbelievable. COPAM also offers equipment capable of causing immense cellular blackouts and bulk data collection, including the 3GN operating via laptop. And you can look at the specifications up there. Also noteworthy are 2 direction finding units. Trackers used for following the location of someone's smartphone and presumably its user. One named the Evolve 4-handheld direction finder actually allows a soldier or neighborhood police officer to carry a hidden antenna inside his clothing that he can then use to track someone's whereabouts. This is unbelievable. I never knew spying was like, I knew the Patriot Act was bad, but our local police, the guy that you see just pulling you over may have an antenna inside his clothing that can see your phone data. Is just unbelievable. Another similar device uses a larger antenna that can be mounted onto any car, a design that raises an eyebrow for Wessler. Quote, the low profile means that it is difficult to identify police use of the technology. This low-profile technology not only allows agents in a vehicle to track someone's location via their mobile phone, but it's also, quote, designed to work with any GSM manipulation, presumably meaning cellular jamming and interception. So without the user's consent, they're basically taking data from your phone without them knowing, without a search warrant, without anything like that. Tools for covert spying make up a large part of the catalog, particularly in the audio and video surveillance sections, where sensors are hidden in everything from pocket knives and birdhouses to suspenders, outdoor trash cans, wall clock, birdhouse, smoke detector, street light with journal, and bug zapper. So this is just some of the things that they're in that you have no idea. A trash can, yeah. Elsewhere in the catalog, COPAM boasts of a corporate history going back more than 70 years, brags about tripling in size since 1997, and talks about, quote, clients and partners in over 100 countries. Among the company's stated goals are, quote, to keep people safe and to improve communications, meaning invade their privacy over security and sacrificing United States liberties over security. And to improve, like I said, and to improve communications. So improve the communications of stealing data? Is that what you mean? But the proliferation of spy tools like those sold by COPAM is actually eroding safety, obviously, like I've been saying this whole article. As we move to a more connected world where cars, toys, fridges, and even implantable devices contain miniature cell phone technology, the capability, there we go, to cause harm using one of these devices becomes ever greater. It's unacceptable for our modern critical infrastructure to be so vulnerable to such interception. And therefore, it is vital that the international standards that underpin our communications are built to the highest security standard possible. So if you guys enjoyed this article, please like it below. Follow me on Twitter if you enjoyed my commentary. Asking me any questions or comment in the comment section below. I take every comment seriously. I'll look at everything. And please subscribe to my channel if you enjoy this video. and others I have posted on YouTube. And thanks a lot, guys. Again, I appreciate it.